Hello, and welcome to this episode of A New Mum, Cuppa Comfort. My name is Alda Smith, and this is the podcast dedicated to your maternal and postpartum wellness. Our goal is to provide you with the comfort, support, and products you need for a better postpartum experience. In this episode, I talk birth photography, loving your postpartum body, and self-care with beautiful Mums and Todd's cover mom, Jessica O'Neill, and the New Mum CEO, Marion Kennedy. So I've got Marion Kennedy and Jessica O'Neill. First of all, let me start off by asking Jessica how she's doing. I mean, she's had Alfie and since we've last seen her, and yeah, Jess, how are you doing?
I'm actually doing really well. Recovery this time was just so much nicer. Yeah, I don't know. I think on the first two, I was kind of never put any thought into recovery or anything like that, or even that I should be thinking about myself. It was like, oh, I've just had a baby, so it's, naturally all about the baby. But this time I was like, no, it's about me too. So, stop taking the spotlight, Alfie. But yeah,
did
so
you
I
feel
kind
part
of
of that, Jess, was like, did you feel part of that was because of the COVID as well, and that you got to get time, to yourself and with Alfie, as opposed to people, the minute you come home inundated, knocking at the door, give us a squeeze.
It was actually really nice because we had about a week and a half before everything kind of shut down. So we had, say, about a week of people coming over, and then it was nothing. And I found that was beautiful because that was when I needed to kind of just go, oh, I can take a deep breath now. Yeah. So, and it was just time. I didn't have to be anywhere. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to please anybody. It was really just, I can just do what I want.
Yeah, just connect, like, at least.
Yeah.
Because I always found, I remember coming back from Emily and people were calling, and I was just,
well,
first baby zombified.
Exactly. When you're a first-time mom, it's kind of, I think you're on like autopilot for a good 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah, definitely.
Until you come down off the whole, okay, I've just had a baby and now I'm a mother.
Yeah.
And you have this whole new person to get to know, not the baby, like you as a mother, you to get to know. Like,
Marion, you're actually pregnant now with your second one. So yeah.
I am. Thank God, yeah. I'm 32. I'm grand. What am I? I'm hot, hungry, horny, sweaty. I don't know whether I'm coming or going most days. I am. This humidity is killing me, though. I am like changing, having showers, trying to cool myself down most days. But no, look, I am very blessed, and I'm really happy. We're all happy. We're so happy. Me and Jess had originally. I think I had originally followed Jess back in 2018 because you were doing the body positivity, the campaign. You were out there. You were showing you're in your bra, and you were in the nape, but it was all obviously very sensitive. But it was brilliant because I think somebody had shared it, and I was like, oh my God, this girl is amazing. But it's something though that I had been discouraged from doing. When I was like years ago, or even after postpartum, I was embarrassed and I didn't want to show my body, and I think that's what really connected me to you in the first instance. Then last year we had both shared a loss, and I had messaged you, and I just thought within the space of, I'd say, about 5-10 minutes, we were messaging each other, and you gave me your mobile, and I had a miscarriage. Jess had a miscarriage, and she was just so forthcoming, and you were so open. And like, I was the first of my friends and family to have had a baby anyway in the first instance, but it's just trying to connect with someone on the same level when you have a loss. I think that's it's always good to listen to somebody else and hear their point. You're not alone.
That was the thing, and I suppose I was always going to share it on my Instagram. Obviously we had shared our news, and I've always been somebody that the minute you get that positive on the stick, I mean, you are a mother, and you kind of, I don't know, I feel like society in general is kind of like, oh, well, we can't say anything until a certain week or whatever, just in case, because then it's awkward. And I'm like, I always thought, even before we had a miscarriage, if something happened, I'd want everybody to know.
Yeah.
because that's not something
your
I don't
mindset
think.
though, isn't it? It's like your future in your mind, your family has, your vision has changed. Like you have this additional person, and it's hard
Exactly.
not to see your life without that.
That's the thing. And I thought, personally, I didn't think that was something I could carry as a secret, I suppose, from everybody else, if that even makes sense. But yeah, when we shared our loss, again, like that, I'm kind of, well, I have a very small circle. So like, even in terms of friends and stuff, like my best friend doesn't have kids, never wants kids, that kind of thing. So yeah, I shared our news, and then I wanted everybody to share in our loss too. And there was something so lovely in that.
Yeah, I just found a real connection with you. I don't know, it was lovely. We were just, and we've been messaging and friends ever since, and that's when I had asked you as well to take part in the
I was just going to say
storylines campaign.
Yeah, you reached out to Jess to participate in the New Mum Storylines campaign, which was really to help women love their postpartum bodies, or their pregnant bodies as well. Can you tell us a bit more about that campaign, the story? Because that's really where Jess, I met Jess as well, and can you tell us a bit more about that campaign and why you wanted that narrative of encourage that narrative for women to really love their postpartum and pregnant bodies?
I think when you look online, there's this kind of this image for a lot of new mothers that you just have to snap back, and you see these pictures of celebrities and they're after having a baby like 2 days, and they're back to like slim sticks, and they're promoting their bodies now, whether they've had nip tucks and whatever done inside. But I think it's just the image. It's very powerful, and it's very, it has a domino effect. I think it can make a woman feel very negative and disconnected with your body, even though it's just done the most powerful thing, creating a life, and giving life. That I just wanted women to be proud of their bodies and what they've done. Like, I just think the woman's body is a vessel, and it's amazing what it can do.
This campaign, Marion, would you say that you look differently now? I mean, you're pregnant now. Would you say that you look differently at yourself, your own body now?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, I think, growing up, I remember starting to get bigger. My body was getting bigger, and stretch marks, like my bum and in between my thighs. And now I'm like, I have my stretch marks, but like, what are they? My tiger marks or my proud marks, my baby marks? Stripes. I don't mind. They're my love, my stripes. I love them, and I'm proud of what my body's done. And I'm sure you are too, Jess. I love the way you are so positive for your body, your images that you share on social media.
Yeah, well, it's funny that you said, like, when you were younger, obviously when you're going through puberty, and I suppose like when we were going through that, it was kind of like you went through it on your own, and there was no, I don't know, even guidance, or even in my house there was no, I suppose, nobody spoke about it. It was just you went through it on your own, and it was just something you did. But like that, I was fierce into swimming back when I was kind of 9, 10, 11, 12, and I went through the change quite young. So like, I was there, and I was always very tall for my age, so I always kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. And there I was, like, shoulders high over everybody else with boobs, and like the hair starts coming, and I was, even from just such a young age, I was so conscious of my body. And I just went, but it didn't click really until I had Max, and then Robin, and then I kind of just went, I don't have the time here anymore to start giving out to myself over how I look. So I kind of, I think motherhood in general, when I fell pregnant on Max, I started taking an interest in me and my body. And I don't think I ever looked inward until I fell pregnant.
Isn't it funny how you can go on with life and then something like that? Just puberty, and you're saying, though, I can really connect, because it's something you go through on your own, even though you have your friends. Everybody's body is different, and we obviously all feel different. But I remember getting the stretch marks on my bum, and it was like my bum was just red. It was like all these lines. And I remember going down to my mother going, "Mommy, what are these?" But just that we're not educated enough. And I think if women were more educated now, as in, this is the normal, this is what a postpartum body actually looks like. This is how you should, not that you should, but this is how you could possibly feel about you and your body. That just to make that topic and conversation more open for women.
That's the thing, and society has kind of created like a division, and it's like, I don't know, you have in your head what you think you should look like after you have birth, and it's this glowy, rosy cheeked image of, a white, white clothes in a white environment with a white dressed baby, and everything is just clean and beautiful and
Perfect,
fresh.
yeah.
And I think then when that doesn't happen, people are kind of, moms, especially women, you're like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah. You're putting
Why
your
doesn't my house look like that?
exactly.
Do you know what I
You're putting
mean?
yourself up against it.
Yeah, but I think society is very sneaky in that like it's an image that doesn't exist, but it's been cultured and
Yeah. And do you
cultivated.
think social media has something to do with that? Like, because when you look at Instagram on some people's profiles and things like that, that you can see there's a total different image, and you're like, oh my God, they look like that after having a baby. I should look like that. It's
Yeah,
that mind perception.
I feel a lot of people look and take things as they see them without thinking about what may be going on in the background. And I think we need to get more conscious of how we view social media, rather than, I suppose, looking at people going, well, why aren't they showing X, Y, and Z? Because we live our lives. We know what happens in our own individual homes. That happens in everybody else's house too. We're not universal, or I suppose individual in that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we kind of need to change how we view the outside world.
Jess, I think you actually answered part of this question, but like when you participated in the New Mum Storyline campaign, and those beautiful images that Neely Fox actually took of you whilst pregnant and breastfeeding. It was amazing. What drew you to the postpartum, to the New Mum postpartum narrative, to the whole Love Your Body Storylines campaign? What drew you to it?
I suppose as we can't even speak tongue-tied, as we've already touched on, being proud of my body and kind of showing that aspect to women that I know that people are craving to see.
Yeah.
It kind of just continued into pregnancy, and when I fell pregnant again, I knew, because people reach out on a daily basis, and they're you can hear the sadness in them that their body is changing and they don't know how to
deal with it,
cope with that, and kind of accept it. So like when Marion, obviously we connected on such a personal level anyway, so when Marion reached out and kind of went, I have an idea, would you be interested? Absolutely, yes. There was no question about it. And especially with me, obviously I was breastfeeding Robin as well at the time when I was pregnant.
I love that photo of the two of you.
Yeah.
When you're breastfeeding, it's so beautiful. It's so intimate. I don't know, there's something special about it.
I still have it here in my bedroom, and it's just something that I will treasure forever.
Yeah.
Because it's just a moment in time, and it's just so lovely.
Yeah, Neely was great at capturing the perfect, that little precious moments, I think, in all the women's the photo shoots.
Yeah.
Jason,
absolutely.
With the birth of Alfie, I was privileged enough to be your anewmum birth photographer. Well, let's call it Fresh 48 photographer at that stage. He came fast.
That was fast, Jess.
You're not hanging around for you, Aldo.
No. I was privileged enough to capture some of those first precious postpartum moments with Alfie. It was an incredible privilege. It felt sacred to me, and some of those photos, I've got it here, is now on it's beautiful, beautiful intimate moments. I guess I just wanted to find out from you what did that mean to you, and to have those memories, because obviously it's a very sacred, intimate moment, but what did having those memories captured mean to you by a birth photographer or a Fresh 48 photographer? What did it mean to you personally to have those memories?
Everything. And I think the funny thing about, I think, being pregnant and giving birth, and we kind of forget how huge it is. I've seen something, Leanne, how much effort and planning and money did you put into your wedding?
Yeah, true.
And how much did you put in to your birth?
Yeah.
And like, I think we're so behind on how we're viewing birth and pregnancy and everything that goes with it. And the one thing that I regretted not doing on both and Robin was having somebody there to photographer, or to photograph the birth, and to have that moment of, you see all these raw images and you see the primal moment and just the woman, and stripped back,
power,
raw, and just the absolute power and love and the strength. And it just
absolutely
screams off the photograph when you see something like that.
Definitely. I think just from my point of view, I think what birth photography and why I became interested in the first place back in South Africa was that in South Africa, but they're actually starting to view birth photography as an allied healthcare profession. So in that it actually, birth photography in itself provides, it's narrative medicine. They call it narrative medicine, which I actually think is tying in to exactly what
perfect word.
It's actually that emotional journey, because I think that's the part of birth that gets neglected. We are cared for physically, but that emotional journey that a mother takes. I remember seeing, I actually had a photographer with my last birth, a birth photographer photograph my last birth, and it meant everything to me, because with my last birth it was a C-section, and I couldn't at that moment, obviously I could, I was lying on the back of my, on my back. I can't see anything. I can't see my husband's reaction. Afterwards, when seeing this, just seeing his reaction, seeing it from a different perspective, it actually, because C-section was traumatic for me, but it actually helped, seeing those images actually healed me. It helped me emotionally to come to terms what
you've
I
just touched on something.
Yeah,
you've just touched on something there for me. On both Max and Robin, I felt like I missed out on my birth. And I said it to Matt a little while after, and he was like, how does that even make sense? Like, you're there in the moment. Like, how did you miss out on it? And I kind of went, no, because when you're going through it, me personally, closed my eyes, completely went inward.
Yeah. You go primal. You focus so intently that you don't see what's happening around you.
You see nothing. And I kind of went, wow. And I kind of, like you said, I felt a little bit robbed. Like I was there, but I seen nothing.
But I wasn't there. I did all the hard work, but I didn't get to it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like an outer body experience kind of thing. Like just you're there, but you're not there.
Jess, would you say with Alfie, it's your third postpartum experience. I think you've already said that you it's different in that for the first time you're looking at yourself as well. But what are the ways that that's been different for you? This experience has been different for you, positive or negative, both.
I think I've just been much less judgmental of everything. So we all have expectations of how things will go. We have an image in our head of how we want it to look. But even in terms of other people, like externally as well, like you do look to, let's just say, your family for external support and that kind of thing. And this time I was like, no, I want me to be enough this time. I don't have to rely on other people or to be even searching for that outside influence. So kind of, much like birth, I just went primal again. I kind of just went inward. It just seemed to really work for me this time.
Do you maybe want to tell us just, I know like the whole story is in Mums and Tots, but do you maybe just quickly want to recap Alfie's birth, because it was so special. It was so
quick. It was quick. Quickly recap, quick.
It was quick. Like Max was an hour and 14 minutes from my waters breaking. Robin was an hour and 7. And then Alfie was, around 39 minutes.
God, yes,
I think 39 minutes. It could have been less. But we had ourselves teed up for a home birth, obviously, because of my 2 previous births were ridiculously fast. Robin was born at home. Mum actually delivered Robin at home on my bathroom floor. So I was just, this time I wanted to be prepared for it. So we went through the HSE. Everything was grand. Obviously, I had Strep B on Robin, so that was always going to be the clincher in this. And I knew that. But anyway, I was devastated when Steffi came back positive on Alfie. I was like, oh, feck, like there's, you know, the image you wanted,
Yes.
the birth you wanted was kind of gone and taken away. And, you know, I kind of cried for a day or two, felt miserable. I was like, feck that anyway. But then I kind of just went, oh, look, it'll happen when it happens, how it's meant to happen. So just let it go. But yeah, so the night of, I think was, what was it, the 21st of February? The year earlier, we had our miscarriage started on the same night. Was actually born, which was obviously, Alda, you shared in that moment as well. It was, you know, it was
totally,
really special. But yeah, so my waters went at, I think, 3:13 a.m. Friday night, Saturday morning. And we called the ambulance came. We kind of were like, feck it, you know, we'll hop into the ambulance, we'll motor it down, we'll get there on time, surely he's not coming now, because I felt grand, was chatting away to the contractions. I felt very dramatic at having called an ambulance, like, you know. And Matt was like, oh, I'll stay for your sister, you head on down the ambulance, I'll see you down there. It's like grand, because everybody all along had said, third babies tend to hang around, you'll be fine, you'll have loads of time.
The old wives' tales, good old wives' tales.
yeah, third baby hangs around all right. So we made it about 2 miles out the road in the ambulance, and Alfie, literally his head was coming out just as we were pulling over. And it was just, you know, it was, if somebody had said you're going to have to give birth in an ambulance, you're going to be like, oh my God, what? Like, no, I couldn't think of anything worse. But there then, in that moment, you know, and the paramedic, he couldn't have empowered me more, you know. Do you want me to do anything? Do you need anything? Or do you just want me to leave you alone? And I was like, yeah, I just nodded.
That's great, because it'd be worse if they were forceful, do you know, as in, not forceful, but more pressurized on you in this extraordinary circumstance.
I think you read the back of that ambulance pretty well. Again, I was very inward. He was like, do you just want me to step back here? And I was like, yeah, nodding at him, you know, and he turned down the lights, and, you know, it was just really nice. And it was just, you know,
incredible.
I wouldn't imagine it any other way now.
Yes, you know? Incredible birth story if you think about it.
Yeah. And we had the whole journey then, you know, was 30 minutes down
together
on our own, and it was just us time, you know, and it was just really nice. You know, cord was still connected, which was beautiful. And
and
it was
that they didn't
really
clamp
nice.
it until it stopped pulsating, and so all of those things that a mum could only dream of sometimes.
And sometimes you're not given that in a hospital, you know, and so it was really nice.
Mary, just in terms of a new mum, you trying to create like a supportive postpartum community, and this is really what these conversations are about, is with Jess and mums like Jess, is to really create a community to support mums postpartum. What made you I mean, obviously a new mum provides postpartum products, but what made you decide to provide additional support?
I think, I suppose, having, like, from my own birth experience, it was a physical effect that I think I'm always of the perception, if you're not right physically, you're not right mentally. There's a domino, there's a connector there between the two. And although I had concentrated on the physical side, like, the more I did my, like, obviously our products and stuff have been 3 years in research, development, the making, but the more I spoke to women, the more, like, women are actually dying to talk. They want to, oh, baby. Maybe I'll be sorry, distracted there.
We've been gay crushed.
Hello.
But the more I talked to women, the more I could see that they just wanted to talk. They wanted to share their experience. Like, I met, like, women, and within 2 minutes they had told me how many stitches, their vaginal tears. It's just, they just want somebody to connect, to say, you know, did you feel the same? Are you okay? How are you? It's just this connection. And that's, I think, part of building the community for a new mum and a new mothers throughout Ireland, throughout the world. I just wanted somewhere that would be a safe haven, and that where somebody could ask an expert. That's our next portal, is that we're building a community of professionals that people can ask a question. Because like that, I was, like, first time mother, I felt stupid. I Googled myself to having a prolapse womb at one stage. I was like, your mind just goes off in one, and when you don't know who to ask or who to like, yes, there are supports and things out there, but it's very hard sometimes to get that connection or get that person. I tried, I don't know how many times, to get in contact with the public health nurse, and it's just so difficult. They ring you back, you get, it's just, it could be 2-3 days, but your head is like running away with itself.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that difficult. There shouldn't be that much work involved in kind of seeking out help, or somebody to answer a question, or even just somebody to sit there and go, yeah, me too.
Yeah,
me too, exactly.
Exactly.
And that sometimes that's all somebody needs, is to feel, okay, well, this is normal, I'm not alone here.
Yeah.
And then in terms of your products, Marion, like, you don't have to feel that way. Do you know what I mean?
It's just the
like,
whole
there are things that can help.
connection that was there. Yeah, exactly. That's what I just wanted. Things like, yes, the physical, but also the mental. They just go hand in hand for me.
I think you've actually just said that there, Marion. Then what started out as a physical, providing physical comfort and support, then developed into something, because you actually said it yourself. If you're not right physically, you're not right mentally, and it goes the other way as well. If you both ways. So I think that it was just a natural step then for you to, for anewmum, not to expand its portfolio and provide the physical comfort and support, but then also emotional support. And you're now distributing anewmum alpha-stim, which Jess has actually also been trying out. Can you just tell us a bit more about alpha-stim and what it does and why you decided?
And we're going to share this answer.
I've actually used it myself, so I will actually
exactly.
Well.
But I think alpha-stim was just another option for us, because we totally looked at hygiene as a section for looking after new mothers, like we did. But then, like, as I said, when we spoke to women, it was the well-being and the mental health side of things. And then when the whole COVID thing happened, we were like, oh my God, what other ways can we help people with anxiety, depression, postnatal depression? What is out there? And Alda was the girl, the woman who took control of our, our well-being campaigns with the alpha-stim. And you can see, like, Alda, I'm happy for you to,
no, I'm actually, and
especially you had the connection with it from day one.
Yes, I suffered from postnatal depression, severe postnatal depression with my firstborn, and at the time, I think the big problem for me was that there wasn't a solution. I mean, obviously, medication at the right time, at the right place there's always a place for it. But I was breastfeeding at that stage. And the problem with that was I was breastfeeding, and I sort of had to make that, because if you use if you use depression medication, then it obviously is going to get into the breast milk. And I had to make this really hard choice between breastfeeding and bonding that way, because to me it was a bonding experience, and making this decision in terms of medication. And at that time, I mean, it's 12 years ago now, with my oldest, I felt like there should be a solution that actually could help me with depression, with postpartum depression, that wouldn't affect it wouldn't affect me breastfeeding, because not being able to breastfeed in itself, or having to make that decision, was stressful and caused anxiety in itself. So it was this a horrible knock-on effect. And I think in alpha-stim came the solution that I was looking for so many years ago, was that it does treat, it's FDA approved, and the NHS has actually trialed it as well very effectively, and it provides postpartum or depression and anxiety relief from it, and also insomnia. It actually helps with insomnia. Now, I don't suffer from insomnia, but my husband does, so he actually, when we eventually got one, he used it for that as well, and it works really well. So I think for me, it was just this incredible solution to moms who suffer from postnatal depression. And it's also that whole idea of, you need something to help you within where you are at. And, just after giving birth, if you feel down or anxious or any of those things, it's hard to necessarily go out and get help. We've got wonderful support now through Pandas and Parent Line in Ireland, but you sometimes just need that additional support. And I think for me that was that solution. But I mean, I used it after my postpartum depression. I used it later on. Jace, you've actually used it now during the postpartum period. What was your experience? I mean, I think that's probably a better gauge on whether it works and whether.
Honestly, it's after changing how I live. I was talking to you about this the other day, Alda, and it's just after changing kind of the frequency that I live life at. Like, I suppose I'd be very easily overstimulated. Certain noises would drive me mad, which I know is like can happen after you have certain noises would drive me, and I would, from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds, or if just certain things would make me quite anxious or overthinking, and it all just seems to be reduced massively.
Yeah.
I am coping with situations much better. And the anxiety, it's not all gone. I mean, obviously I still get anxious, but when I feel it coming on, I go straight for it, and
It helps.
it kind of, just reduces it hugely for me to a place where I can deal with this.
Manage it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of it, is that it can be used as part of a layered response to anxiety and depression. And I think that, that's it anyways, in terms of postpartum depression or anxiety. A layered response is really what you need. You need the physical support, because physical pain can actually cause depression and anxiety. So you need all those the physical support. You need the community, support from your community, professionals. But then I think alpha-stim also provide, like you said, it's that it sort of takes off that edge, doesn't it?
Yeah, and obviously postpartum, as you said, you're at home, you're
Stuck.
hibernating for a little while, and you're stuck, and with 3 kids as well, it's never easy to get out to the doctor's office on your own, or there's always just an obstacle, and sometimes you just don't need that obstacle, because getting up in the morning may be an obstacle for you, so another obstacle is not what you need.
Yeah.
And I just been able to do it at home is just amazing, because as mums, obviously you feel the mom guilt if you go out for an hour for a coffee, or if you go somewhere, take time out.
It's a self-care too. It's really a self-care too.
I was just going to say, it's bringing it back to time for yourself again, whether it be that 20 minutes that you can actually just calm yourself, get yourself together, gather your marbles.
Pull yourself towards yourself.
I've massively integrated into my self-care, and even if Matt comes in the evening, I kind of go, oh my, I've had a day. But like yesterday, kids were absolutely up to 90, just needing constant attention.
Yeah.
He came in the door and said, here you are, here's the 3 kids, I'll see you in a half an hour. I'm going upstairs to recharge, and I just took out the alpha-stim, and I just lay on the bed, and it even focuses you, to practice your breathing and just everything when you're doing it.
That's
to recenter, kind of just get yourself back together.
Exactly. And sure, you're brand new coming down the stairs then after half an hour. You know what I mean? And you're like, okay, I can go at this again.
I can handle this again.
Until bedtime, and there's a meltdown.
Talking about self-care, and just on that, how important would you say self-care is within postpartum wellness?
Oh, I mean, self-care is definitely, I think it needs to be integrated more into a woman's postpartum experience, and I think it's the education. So women need to know that they need to be doing this. They need the time for themselves. Like, you're pregnant, you get 20 appointments, checkups between doctors and hospitals. You have the baby, you get a 6-week checkup. What else do you get? You don't get like a 2-month check. You don't get this follow-on. It's like, when you have the baby, a public health nurse comes. They do focus on you, but they also kind of focus more so on the baby, because it's the progression of the baby and the baby's growth. Whereas they can pick up on things then as well when they're there. But I just think it's important for women to be educated.
Yeah, definitely.
And take that self-care. Then you need to know that it's okay to take time. Like, having a baby is one of the most wonderful and precious things and times of your life. But it's not to take the focus away from the baby, but it's also just to bring some back to the mother and say, look, be gentle on yourself, take care of yourself, and your mental well-being is of the highest priority, as well as keeping that child alive.
Exactly.
I think they go hand in hand. You just need to take care of yourself.
It's that whole, like you always say, you can't pour tea from an empty kettle. If you can't
You have to take care of yourself first. You can't care for, or you can't care for your baby that well if you're not taken care of.
It's an airplane going down, or oxygen, that you put it on your mother, you put it on yourself first, then you put it on the child, because you can't help the child if you look at them first and not yourself.
Exactly. Jess, interestingly enough, we actually, you asked your followers to send some questions in terms of, you know, what they wanted us to ask you, and most of them actually related to self-care. So some of them, like one of them was, how do you manage to put on makeup every morning? I actually want to know that as well.
I think we all know, especially when I have 3 kids, like, I mean, getting up in the morning, like, we're up at the crack of dawn, so, you know, by the time you all make it downstairs, I'm already wrecked. So it's kind of, I sit the kids to the table, they have their breakfast, and I've just kind of, you know, from upstairs, wherever you have your makeup, I just bring down what I use every day, put it in the press, like up beside the cutlery, and the bowls and the plates, and I have a little mirror in there as well. And I think it's just all about making it work for you. So, like, obviously, if I was to go upstairs to spend 15 minutes doing my makeup, they would have the house trashed.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So I just
you basically do your makeup in the kitchen.
So I do it in the kitchen,
Brilliant.
Literally up in
With
the press.
Multitasking.
Sitting here at the table, they're at my back, so they can't, you know, empty the bowl of cereal upside down on the table, or, you know, so I'm scraping Weetabix off the floor for a week. Yeah, so I just kind of make it work for me, and it takes me maybe 5 or 6 minutes, very, very quick and simple. And then I just kind of feel, right, I'm ready for the day now.
It does make that.
You know, yeah. And I don't know, it's kind of like I've given me, you know, a couple of minutes to take a few deep breaths, put on my makeup, and then it's like, right, you know, kind of like boss head is on now. I'm ready now to kind of go to work kind of thing. Because I don't have that now. Obviously, I've given up my job, so I'm a stay-at-home mom now. So it's kind of, I don't have the, you know, the get up, the get dressed, the getting prepared, and then the drive to work, the commute. I don't have that anymore. So it's like that 5 minutes in the morning is like my little me time. And it's my drive to work, as I call it.
we were actually saying, Marianne and I, we should do like a makeup tutorial with you.
Absolutely.
I need to do that, the eyeliner, Jess, I'll tell you. That must be one of your most popular questions.
Occasions.
But it must be one of your most popular questions. How do you do the eyeliner? And oh my God, your eyelashes are unreal.
To be fair, my eyelashes are, like, they're lovely, and I love them, and they're probably one of my favorite things about me.
Yes.
But
there's so much more. There's so much more. My mother always says though, like, get your war paint on, you're ready for the day.
And it is, and I don't know what it is, or, like, you know, what the psychological thing is behind it. I don't know, but I do kind of, when I have it on, I just feel brighter, and I don't know, just like I'm ready to take on whatever the kids are going to throw at me.
And whatever helps.
Yeah, but that's it. Like, you know,
it
helps. And God, it's a cheap way of doing things, isn't it?
Yeah, just make it for 5 minutes, like that. It gives you that feeling for the rest of the day.
And also, it's the whole saying of dress for how you would like to feel, not for how you're feeling.
That's it. And that was another thing this postpartum that I kind of went, okay. I suppose on my other two, I kind of, not that I didn't care about what I looked like or what I dressed or whatever in this, I just made more of a conscious effort to get dressed this time around.
Yeah.
And it made just a huge difference in how I felt.
It's very easy to slot into the slacks and the jumpers and, you know, the coziness.
That's it. And look, I'm all for cozy, and like my clothes are very, very comfortable because I always buy what suits and fits me, so I'm always comfortable, say, in my jeans. I mean, I've no problem buying a size 16 or size 18 if it means that I'm happy and comfortable in them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, Matt just laugh at me. Some of my jeans are probably looser than some of my tracksuits or pajamas.
Comfort.
You know? But it's all about comfort. But when I look at myself in the mirror, it's kind of like, okay, well, you know, the physic or the appearance that's kind of looking back at me is somebody that has their shit together. So even if I don't, I'm after cursing now, sorry. You know,
don't worry about it, girl.
Even if I don't feel like I have, you know, like my head screwed on or together that day, it's like, well, okay, well, I'm dressed and I look like I have my shit together. So
Yeah.
it kind of just seeps in then and does get
Gives
into
it
your
a bit
head
of
then.
boost.
Yeah, yeah.
Confidence more, kind of like, you know, that you can
Yeah.
tackle.
One of the other questions, Jess, was actually, how do you carve out time for self-care and time for yourself? How do you manage? Because, you know, it's easy just to get overwhelmed by it all.
Yeah, it is. And you know, some days I'm grand and some days I'm like, okay, kids, you need to sit down on the couch with a bowl of jellies and some crisps while mommy goes into the kitchen for 5 minutes quiet time and a cup of coffee. And sometimes that's all it takes to kind of bring me back and just go, oh God, okay, I'm ready now for the second half of the day or whatever it may be. But then kind of in the evenings when, you know, if Mac comes in from work and it's like, I just hand over the reins.
Yeah, get a bit of a reprieve. Like,
okay, I need, you know, a half an hour or an hour, or sometimes it could just be even 10 minutes of quiet time.
Yeah.
Where there's nobody kind of talking at me. I don't have any Paw Patrol on in the background, or there's, you know, there's nobody pulling at me, you're hugging me, you're kissing me, do you know what I mean? Sometimes just even the simplest, you know, your child sitting beside you, rubbing your arm, and you just feel like you want to combust.
I know, yeah.
You're touched out, you know, and I think being okay with feeling like that is a huge thing.
That's actually a wonderful thing. You know, that's such being feeling touched out. I think that's a lot of moms feel that way sometimes. You know,
I think we beat ourselves up about that.
Yes, you feel guilty.
You're like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? Why do I feel like I want to scream because somebody's rubbing my arm or giving me a hug or giving me a kiss? And I think it's just, we don't get any personal space as moms. Like, we don't. We are literally, they're all over us from the minute they get up in the morning, especially through COVID-19. Like, you know, we're the ones doing everything most of the time. And I think if we don't give back to ourselves, it's just so easy. And then, you know, you just get caught in that feeling. And it's really hard to get out of it if you don't just go, okay, well, this is how I'm feeling, so this is what I have to do now.
Yeah. And do you know, you just exactly, you touched on it when you're saying you're touched out, but then you're there for 5 minutes and it's trying to, if you get 10 minutes away, you're there for your first 5 minutes going, oh my God, the guilt, I'm terrible. Like, I just, you know, the child was just hugging me, loving me. And then you're like, you give yourself 5 minutes and then you actually only have 5 minutes going, oh, I'm okay, I'll get myself together. Yeah, I'll get my shit together. I'm here now and I'm just going to take time for myself. But it's the constant juggle of your mind. Like, it's such a creative and dangerous place at the same time, because you don't want to go, you know, there's so many elements to postpartum and to mothering in itself that you just have to be conscious of.
Yeah, I think our expectations of ourselves are false. Do you know what I mean? We're kind of told that we always have to be on and we always have to be this kind of perfect mother of sitting down on the ground playing and doing arts and crafts and baking.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just not reality. And I think we need to be okay with what reality looks like for you. And that's obviously, it's different for everybody, but you know, I'm not the most creative person with imaginative play or, you know, sitting down to do sensory play with the kids. I mean, it's just, that's not who I am. And I just have to be okay with that and accept that. And then, I don't know, I think when you just accept things, you stop looking to the outside world for validation or comparing yourself or something. I don't know what we're searching for, but yeah, I kind of just think.
Yeah, I think most of us are trying to be Pinterest moms, you know, you see all the activities and crafts and, you know, how they're coping with giving school during COVID. And, you know, I'm
exhausted looking at
oh my word.
But that's the thing, and it's fake because it doesn't exist, you know, and then we're just measuring ourselves up to something that doesn't actually exist.
Again,
but we're making ourselves feel crap off the back of it. Like, you know, it is.
I think it's to bring the focus back and to be happy in yourself and your own way, you know, your own routine, your own life, but just to be in a kind of a comfortable environment, that you have that with your family, with your friends, that you have someone to talk to. You can get your time out, you can do your own thing, but just that there's support there.
Jason, it's been really amazing talking to you, and we absolutely love what you're doing for mums out there.
Yeah.
You're making them feel okay with themselves, and I think that's such a big contribution. So thank you for that, and thank you for letting us interview you and talk to you, having a cup of tea with us.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jess. As I said at the
you,
start,
Mark.
I actually can't wait to meet you in physical form.
We have a bit
hug.
Yeah, we'll do, as Emily goes, virtual hugs. And we will have our cuppa someday.
Definitely.
God.
A real cuppa.
Yeah, and stay safe, and thanks so much, Jess. We really mean it. You are doing
Thanks for
amazing
having
things
me
for
on.
women and new mothers. So
Well, thank you for getting the conversation started. I mean, the campaign, I think, will really help many women.
that's great. And the messages we've gotten even online are just, they'd actually make you just kind of get a lump in your throat. They're so I think the women are so appreciative, and even after the storylines and the how are you, it was just the feedback we get from women, like you don't think that people would actually take the time out to message you, but they do, because you've touched a core or some nerve there that they can connect on a one-to-one. So thank you again, Jess.
And that concludes our New Mom Cup of Comfort podcast for today. We hope you enjoyed that, and make sure you tune in next time. Now you can book an A New Mom birth and Fresh 48 photographer to capture your baby's first precious moments. For more information, visit anewmum.com. Limited spaces available.
For a community of support and a range of hygiene and wellness products, visit anewmum.com. A New Mom, for a better postpartum experience.